these two guys don't know what's coming next, but here we go. How do we make our dicks bigger?
Whoa! Let's go.
That's a good question. Also, so
That's a great question.
so actually, I'll be efficient with this. There is a way to enlarge people's penises. There's a lot of, unfortunately, scam artists and con men in this world, and so it's really difficult to decipher what's true or not. There's a lot of people on the forums online that honestly do weird stuff, like claim they made gains that they didn't, and they never have pictures. So this world has been very murky for a long
Where's
time.
your picture, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
You need proof.
It's true. You should have a picture if you said you gained 6 inches, right? At that point, you should have a picture. So a lot of those people didn't have pictures, but basically there was a board in 2008 and way before that called Thunder's Place. I joined it when I was in college and undergrad. And in Thunder's Place, I tried every single mechanism, including chemical, what they call chemical P. P is penis enlargement. I tried using pumps, using clamping, hanging, and all these different kind of things. Now, I want to just tell you the synopsis of what I learned. What I learned is basically that you can increase the size of your penis through improving its vascular structure, its blood vessel connectivity, and you can do that. It has a temporary effect that goes away if you stop doing it for, say, 1.5 or 2 years. It will eventually revert. But the good thing about this approach is it actually makes your penis a little bit healthier. It's more responsive. It's like taking Cialis. You end up with a permanent Cialis effect, sort of. You get hard very quickly. You have no difficulties with it. That's one side. The other side is there is a way to actually lengthen the penis. But this regards, so if you think about the penis's exit point from the side, there's a suspensory ligament at the top of the penis. This ligament can be easily stretched. Now, depending on how tight the person's penis is to that ligament, they can gain 1/2 inch to even 2 inches of length by bringing that exit point lower. So technically, the penis is long.
That's what I'm talking about.
So how you do that is with unfortunately, I don't want to recommend this guy's product because he's a bit of a suspect person, but there's a product called the bib hanger, which most people use. And that hanger, if you use it in a position, unfortunately, it's very, very. You only got to do this for 2 months though, to get it done. If you put your pelvis up, so your legs are up like on a desk, and you hang straight down in the opposing angle of where the ligament is attached, it's the quickest way to stretch the ligament.
Like you're in a belt squat?
It's sort of like sitting on your desk and sort of like a belt squat, but rotating your pelvis up. So if you do this for about 2 months, the suspensory ligament is fully stretched and it doesn't really go back ever fully. So mine never returned after I did that. So I gained something permanent from that never atrophied. On the other hand, pumping is the most effective way to get that vascular development. And that goes away after a while, but dramatically improves your sex life while you're doing it.
Let's take a break and talk about one of our sponsors, Piedmontese Beef. Now, the great thing about Piedmontese is they have so many different cuts of steak. We call it the diet steak, where they have low-fat cuts of amazing tender beef and high-fat cuts of amazing tender beef. Seriously, like one of their flat irons has 80 grams of protein and 4 grams of fat. You're missing out if you don't get it. Andrew, can you tell the people how to get some Piedmontese, please?
Absolutely. You guys got to head over to Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code Power Project for 25% off your order. Check the links down in the description below. Head over there right now.
Wait, okay. So the bib hanger, that's what people should use.
Yeah, but just some notes on that. You don't want to use, with some of us, we're trying high weights and stuff. You actually, what you're trying to do is plastically remold that tendon, that suspensory ligament. So to do that, you want to use the lowest weight possible for you to feel an ache directly at that suspensory ligament. You'll feel an ache every time you do it. You do it for, to be honest, the more time you do it per day, the faster it happens. But unfortunately, pumping is not like that, but hanging is. So you get that ache and you want to keep that dull ache going consistently for a couple of months. And then it'll remold and it'll never return back to what it was.
Okay. So, okay. Now, as far as frequency, like, what are we talking about here?
So with the hanger, honestly, there were people doing it for 10 hours a day for months straight. So that is the quickest way to do it, but you get all of the suspensory ligament benefits within a month or two. Okay. Those people were trying to extend the actual penile tissue, which is not possible in adulthood. It's not possible.
Like, we haven't seen Nsima in weeks.
I'm curious, is like, okay, now are there, because I'm looking at bib hangers, right? are there different ones, or there's
There's
one
a
that
couple
works
of them.
best
There's a
than others?
starter and there's a normal one.
All right.
Yeah,
You
there's
need to send us
one
some
that's
leaks so we know which one to grab.
yeah. You want the one that I forgot what it's called, but the one that looks the most robust. There's one that's like a bit smaller and less. It has like more plastic and less foam. You don't want that one. You want the full bib one. And then what you want to do is you get obviously a weight pin, and you want to use the lowest weight possible to get that ache. And then you keep that ache going. You could probably do it for an hour a day, say for 2 months. It might work. Yeah, it's very inefficient. I'm glad I got that over with and don't have to do that anymore.
You just sit there, take notes on your phone or something, read a book. You know?
Yeah, I would be watching TV in college doing that. Yeah, it was a big waste of time because we didn't know that the tissue itself couldn't stretch. We thought it was just more than the ligament. So we got past the ligament and kept stretching for no reason. Some people holding 40 pounds from the swinging it also. So there's all kinds of useless stuff that happened. Yeah.
You got to get full range of motion.
Hey man, all about stretching and mobility. We're about to do some
All
smooth
that
panther for that Zek.
All that was doing was building scar tissue, making those tendons stronger so they're harder to stretch. You know, it's a lot of waste of time for sure.
All right.
You have a lot of recommendations for like erectile dysfunction and stuff as well?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the source of the erectile dysfunction. So the thing that is the most effective of all is the second thing I mentioned, which was pumping. Pumping is as a vacuum that you insert your penis into while it is erect. And it's a vacuum. Usually you can do water pumping. It's safer with water inside the pump. But the point is you basically have a vacuum stretching the penis out and stretching the vascular structure out while blood is there. So the way you can think of this is sort of like PRP for your joints. What do they do when they do PRP? They take your blood and they concentrate. Mainly what they're looking for is the growth factors in your blood. Not just IGF-1, but there's so many other small growth factors. So they try to concentrate that and put that in a tissue. And it causes a reduction in inflammation there. But eventually overall, including like from something called VEGF, vascular endothelial growth factor, you'll grow new blood vessels in the area. So pumping forces blood to remain there and also elastically stretches the tissue a little bit. This produces, after about 6 months of every other day, 20 minutes a day work, something more powerful than Cialis. You get a much better blood flow in the area. You actually get better sensitivity in the penis. It gets bigger, of course, but that's not the goal, and it gets much more responsive. So this has been, I've covered this a little bit on my channel. It's been used for example, for diabetics that can't get hard. It solves their problems. It's been used for people that have what's called Peyronie's disease, which is fibrosis in the tissue. But there's also, medications. It's much easier to pump if you're using Cialis at the time because you have to be erect when you get inside. There's another medication called doxazosine, DOXAZOSIN, which manipulates the adrenaline system, a different system than the PDE5 inhibition of Cialis that can also increase erectile function.
That's really cool. I always thought penis pumps weren't real. I thought people were just like, oh, penis pump. I didn't know that it was actually healthy for the penis.
Tons of academic evidence, lots of papers, controlled trials. It works for sure. It enlarges the penis and really improves erectile function.
All right.
There's no question about that. Yeah.
So with that being said, if you could just after this, send Andrew the links for the legitimate ones, because there's probably a lot of just weird scammy stuff online you'll buy and it's just doesn't work right.
Preferably
so for
one
example,
that's
when we were on. Oh, sorry to interrupt. When we were on the forum in 2008, I was on the thread that first created water pumping, like putting water in a cylinder to reduce the amount of vacuum on the exterior of the penis, on the skin, so less blistering potential and stuff. Actually, there's no blistering potential. When we came up with that on the forum, I wasn't the guy who came up with it, but I was like the third responder. A group of people on the forum realized a business opportunity, I guess. So they went and suddenly, within 6 months, Bathmate was opened. So Bathmate, they sell pumps. I don't know if you've ever heard of them before. I've never used their pumps. I've always used the same pump I used originally, which is called LA Pump. You can find a link to it on my website. They're very easy to use, and I have 2 videos on pumping that explain how to use it. You got to get used to using it, but once you do, it becomes a trivial issue. And once you see the results, which takes a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, when you see the results, you get addicted to it and you keep doing it. I would still be pumping if I was more sexual in my life, because it just adds so much value. It's like going to the gym if you were an athlete,
This is the best podcast we have ever done.
Hell yeah.
This is amazing.
I told you guys Leo would be dope.
He knows everything.
I know.